show, pop art, live art. Like and sub if you like the content. We left off 2 days ago with this painting here, but I wasn't able to. I would have done it outdoors today, but it's gonna rain here pretty soon. So we're gonna do something. I don't know exactly what we're gonna do, but we're gonna be using golden paints, and I'm gonna work on this red underpainting. I see that there's some trees in here. Maybe it's this way, like a tree here in the middle, and or that might be where it's at. It almost looks like that with how the patterns are. Yeah, okay. I think we'll do it this way, and then we're gonna be building our skyline and then the clouds. So this is a semi-transparent paints. We're going to be using semi-transparent paints and transparent paints, and I can show you how, when we get to it, how you tell a transparent paint from a heavy-bodied paint. And so we're going to be using mostly this colors. This is a Zilron Crimson. This is primary magenta. This is a fluorescent magenta, primary yellow, magnesium hue blue, titanium white. This is a glazing fluid. This is a thinned out bone black. This is yellow ochre. And then this is some fluid acrylics of burnt sienna. But what we may not using all of those, but we're going to start with just with some titanium white, making the skyline. And I'm going to use this glazing fluid, and we're going to just go and we're going to tap. Just going to do a tapping motion. This is a red underpainting. And well, hi, Livy, welcome. Welcome to a golden Sunday night live using golden paints. Marquise Battle, welcome. Pink Lemonade Vibes, welcome. Welcome to a session, a night of painting. I don't know exactly what we're going to do here in Imagination Land, but we're going to be giving it the very best go we can. So you're drinking pink lemonade right now, Mr. Fat Whitley. That's cool. I like pink lemonade. Do you have anything with it? So you're gonna be a new subscribe. Thank you. Well, you know, I'm on my way to a hell of a lot more. Oh, you got that with Everclear. Well, you know, back in the day when I was young, I did a lot of that. So I'm gonna come in and we're just kind of tapping that color in. So let's go in and take some of this magnesium hue blue. I'm going to mix it here. I'm going to just mix it here with this titanium white and cream it down because I'm doing a skyline. And then what I mix in here with it is glazing fluid. You only need a little bit of them in that way. Yeah, you know, I had an experience. Gosh, I was like, just got my driver's license. 16. Oh, I don't need to be painting my icons, so I better move that stuff out of the way. And it was during this festival called Turkey Rama Days in McMinnville, Oregon. They don't have Turkey Rama Days anymore because what McMinnville back in the day. Hi, you just popped in to say hi. Great. I wanted to come on earlier, but it's like raining now, so I had to totally break down my whole outdoor studio. And then also, Lila, I discovered that the 3.5mm jack on my phone has broken, and I'll give you a all right, you're all right, Miss your sister. I'm giving you a shout out, your sister. Yeah, and so anyways, it's, or there's like a 10% chance of rain, so I broke down my outdoor studio, and I wanted to come on like at 7, but my the on my telly, on my phone, the microphone jack is not working, and so so I can't do an outdoor live with the wind until I fire up my new phone. Anyways, that's what we got. Anyways, I did go down to the creek. I know that I really liked my live that I had last night with Lucky Stone 888. I'm glad that he's gonna come on again next Saturday. I'm really looking forward to that. I think we're gonna add some of this this fluorescent red to it, and come in over the top with some layers. Yeah, I know. And so I think that we will resume outdoor painting videos on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I'm taking Mom to her dentist appointment, so probably. Oh, and I'm on summer break from my writers group, and so I will be having that. And then so I'm also going to be using my hair dryer here, because I'm going to probably paint for like an hour tonight. I think that's about what I can do, is about an hour. So this is like, as Lila knows, or Tapestry of the Unseen knows, this is my second live stream of the day, and in the third in less than 24 hours. Actually, the fourth live stream in about 24 hours, roughly. Yeah, that's about right. And anyways, we'll doing with as I can show you, this is semi-transparent paints, and the test for that is we just take the color and you move it right over the surface there, and so you look at that, and you can see the line through it. And so when this painting is done, I'm not going to be able to finish it today. That's not possible. But I will work on the other painting too, because I brought that in here. So essentially, just what we're doing here is we're blocking the colors in. And I think I'm going to bring it down here because it looks like there's a tree coming up right in the center here. And so I'm going to probably... Generally don't like to do trees in the center, but I'm probably going to do either off to the side a little bit, or... Oh yeah, I'm making the thunder. Oh, you know, before you leave, Lila, I saw something that on my property that I hadn't ever seen before. Was a wild rabbit. I saw a wild rabbit this afternoon after I finished my Tools of Fortune live, and it looked, I thought it was like a squirrel or something, but I thought it was a squirrel, but it turned out to be a rabbit. Yeah, so it was just like a little feller too. So we're gonna just put some of this down on the edge. Just a little feller. And then a squirrel ran it off. A squirrel chased the chased it away. And that was quite amazing too, because it was like the squirrel was saying, "Hey, this is my yard," and it was eating like the dandelions and stuff like that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was just a little tiny thing, a little tiny thing. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I seen a wild rabbit before, but there it was. It was right there. And I'm going to do the top edge here. Just kind of put this color in here. Get that texture a little bit here. Yeah, it was kind of rather brown. Just a brown thingy. And we'll go with some of this, some primary red with it too. Make some pinky colors. I do, and I I also filmed a non-live video just like an hour ago, because I had to go down to the creek line and clear the path, because the consciousness of the blackberry vines was starting to move over the one path I have down to the creek. And so I was working on that, a little bit of that, and kind of some of the reflections of what the tarot told me that I need to be concerned about, as far as I did get a message from the tarot today, as far as things that I'm lacking in my life. But yeah, I've read myself. Algorithmically, it doesn't quite like me going out into the earlier in the day, but I want to try some different times of the day. So I'm thinking of where the land is going to be. So like if I take a look at this one here, we're looking at here, which is, it's kind of roughly there, which is 1, 2, it's like 1/4. But if I look here, the faraway mountains, that's like a less than half. But yeah, so we're going to be pulling this down to about, I like this amount here because of the sky there, because it looks so you've been feeling tired? Yeah. Did you want to come on my show sometime and we can read together? Or maybe not. Maybe you're much more of an advanced reader than I am. I think that's absolutely true. I do know that. Maybe when maybe later, like when I gain some more experience as a reader, we can read together. I don't know. I'd like to have some other people on for that. Probably in the fall. That'd probably be good in the fall. So I'm going to bring this down. And already you can kind of see like a, oh, I'm working at it. So you can see like a difference between these is golden paints, and so this was using the for the best 300. Yeah, so this is using the heavy-bodied Amsterdam paints, and I want it, and this is on a green underpainting. This one over here is on a red underpainting, and I think the red underpainting is going to turn out to be the best ones. But I'm going to be kind of using it as a demonstration to show that these golden paints and using these semi-transparent and transparent paints make a superior painting. And that's really what I know that it's true, and I'm proceeding forward with this as if it is true, and that this painting I'm going to do here is going to be superior to this one and to that one, just because of just the not by the technique, but just because of the nature of using transparents and semi-transparents. So you like the red underpainting too? Yeah, I was so glad that I ran across that, because when I was like researching out how to use pastels, because I have some wax pastels, and I still don't know how to use them right. But I'm going to come over here. This is a glazing fluid, and it will help to slow things down, and a retardant, a color retardant. And so we're just going to put this down in here, and I'm going to go back in and use some more of this fluorescent magenta, and put it in there, and so it makes it kind of pinky, which is fine. And I might change, yeah, we're just going to use those. I'm going to add some more of the glazing fluid, thinning it down, and I can show you just how I guess I could have shown you before how about that. And so looking at the just the transparency of it, and so you look at it here, you can see the line right underneath of it there, and this is that's the secret to making great paintings. Now, if you guys here that are great painters, and you will know that is the truth. And so we're going to put this in here, because one of the things that I have found, and I'm going to go get that example. The very first time, I think I have that example here. And that example painting. This is a painting. Well, I'm not done tapping, but here is this is one that I did last summer about this time. And so you look at here, you look at this lavender color here. So it's like, this is really where the line is of where the skyline is, where the light. But if you look at this lavender color in here, it looks like these are faraway mountains. And this all happened by accident. This is something I did completely by accident. And so that was like a happy accident that I have been, when I do these forest scenes, that I'm including in the. And so this one was done without an underpainting. Also, this is done without an underpainting, and so I did that, yeah. And so, anyways, and so as you can see, it's done without an underpainting, but the underpainting ones make them so much better. And so that happy accident that I put in here is now a planned. It's a not, and so it's like, I like the idea of it. You're looking at it, and it's like faraway mountains, and there's the mist on the mountains, the cloud on the mountains, and so getting this to be planned, and I just love this effect. I love this effect, and that's going into this effect. And then I have two more of these canvases that are actually not this size, but they are the museum with ones, in which I'm going to be repeating this image, because I've made this image a few times, and every single one of them that I've made, I sold for like $100. And so like, when I was doing these underpaintings, I said that these underpaintings are for sale, and I have that one that's this size, and I'm hoping that they turn out. And so this is an image that I'm going to repeat a couple more times. I'll probably want to repeat it even more times than that, because it's just a really nice, because it's size wise, it really fits well, because people have like this much space on their wall, and so you can like hang it in a nice space, and I think that a painting like that's worth like $100, don't you think? I probably could get more for it, but you know, I mean, it's something that takes you like what 5, 6, 8 hours of painting time to construct. You know, I mean, $100 for like an 8 hour painting time. That's not too bad. And anyways, you do have to sometimes think about the economics of the situation, because and we're just going to put this in here kind of, and kind of up here. I like that color. We'll just, this is part we're going to start with that blocking in the land. Kind of like it over here like that. You say more like $12. Yeah. Well, Mr. Brando, yeah, maybe it's $12, but I have to ask you, Mr. Brando, if you would like to. Do you work for $1? Actually, I do work for less than $1 an hour when it comes to my art. But yeah, you get those people. Anyways. Coming in here and painting that edge, and I know you did. But sometimes the trolls do add to my watch time, though. That's, you know, I'm losing every day. I'm losing 10 to 15 hours of watch time based upon how much I was gaining last year at this time. And so, which is why I'm going out live every day on this channel for at least a little bit, because I really want to see if I can hit that 3,000 hours before the end of summer, if I can. But I don't know if that's possible. I think I need to have another. And it's not going to happen. But oh well, it's what it is. So let's change to another. We'll start blocking that in. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I know Brent. He was probably 12 years old, or 15 years old. But that's fine. But you see, but you have to remember, Lila, that a lot of younger people like to watch the live art. You know, so it's like you have you look at Lexi Milner, and almost all of the people who watch her content are young people. And so we're going to come in here and go with some of this yellow ochre. I'm going to put this in here. So this is kind of a thin down form of it, and we'll just be doing some. Oh, that light just burned out, and we are going to. I do have another light. I have. So what do we have? I have roughly an hour of light left, and I do have like backups, which I haven't tapped into. These are the kind of camera lights I'm using. Actually, not for those, but Green, welcome. Hi, Anna, welcome. So this is like a brand new one. I haven't opened this box up yet, and these are my backups. And so on this side, I have like 3 of these. One of them is almost worn out. and they last a good year. And for what I'm doing, it's like the perfect kind of camera lights to use. I like these versus the ring lights because one of the things, I guess, the thing that annoys me about the ring lights is I know a lot of people use ring lights and they like them, but it's that uh, is that when you are you can see the ring light reflected right off people's eyeballs, and so you know, if you keep the the lights off to the side a little bit rather than having that, you know, having your camera right here, and then you have your phone camera right in the middle of the green of the um uh right in the middle of the camera, you know, right in the middle of the ring light, and then you know, you film your video, and then and so uh so you're looking at this, and then the next thing you know, when you come in really close. I don't think that's true, Abby. I don't think that's true at all. You know, it's not true. I don't. Yeah, yeah. You are a beautiful person, and don't listen to people that say that because, you know, the first you if you like yourself, that's all that important. If your parents like you, that's also all that is important. I know that it's hard when you're going to school, and especially if you're young, it's really brutal. The growing up process is really brutal. But anyways, I remember that and that. So I guess that's what I was trying to get at. That one of my pet peeves is looking in on and watching and seeing that ring light reflected off people's eyeballs in their videos. And I'm gonna run the yes, that's one of the things. That's one of the things I do. And this is I do a variety show, microwave. I do a variety show. I do art, and I do talk. I do art and talk. So I'm gonna run the hair dryer right now. So don't go away because I gotta this paint's too wet and I need to um dry this layer here. So I'm gonna mute the camera for just a moment. We're gonna shift gears and go back up. That needs to dry. That's the difference between when you work with these golden products is that they're a lot tighter. There's more pigments on them, and so it takes a lot more work to even wash them off your hands and stuff like that. So we are going to go back to the skyline. Mama Sushi, welcome. Welcome. And as I was telling Tapestry of the Unseen earlier, I saw a wild rabbit this afternoon. But then some squirrel chased it off. I did get a picture of the wild rabbit, but you know, it was so tiny and it was hard to see. So we're going to just kind of put these colors in here, do some more tapping. Tapping the color in, get that randomness going on. Athen, welcome. I'm working on it. It's not quite. This is in its very beginning stages. Very beginning stages of it. I'm gonna probably be on for, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes tops today, or until the light. I think that's all. That's all the time I have, because the camera light I have over here will probably only last about 90 minutes, because I just plugged it in, and this one over here, I got almost 3 hours of usage on it, which is another reason why I like that brand of camera lights that I was showing you, is because you can charge these things up and they last almost 3 hours. And so you can do, or you can just plug it in and run it through, and that's also an option for you as well. Great, great, and so I'm not getting like paid by him or anything like that. I'm just like saying, because there are a lot of content creators that watch other people's content, and if you are a streamer and you're doing something other than games, you might consider getting good camera lights. That's right. I'm Clara. I am working on a landscape of some kind. Something a landscape. That's what I'm working on here. And what I'm doing is I'm building the sky. I'm using a tapping motion so I can mimic the randomness of clouds. This is why I use a tapping motion. I might change to a round brush here. I could do that. But when I get a little bit further on, I guess I can show you here, because this will kind of do other things to it. I might just do that now. Change into a round brush, but there's the square brush also has a different kind of it has a different kind of an energy to it, which I kind of like as well. This one here is a bit more organic, and but I use the tapping motion in order to. Welcome, Alexis. So you use tinfoil and sponge. I've used sponge. I have some sponge brushes just on the other side. Welcome. I was thinking about you today because I've been going out live almost. I think I've been doing live every day. Every day. And I went and I did uh, a Tools of Fortune live this afternoon. And yeah, it's fun. Well, I'm taking a different attitude approach to the Tools of Fortune, because I'm seeing that there's a bit more of a serious edge to it. So I thought, well, you notice that? Yeah. So there's a more of a serious tone to it. So which is good, because I can put all the lightheartedness into this channel, and I can do more the serious tones into the other channel. Yeah, and stuff like that. Oh, that's kind of turning nice. I like that. I'm going to just we got to work on this area over here, and yeah. So yeah, it's not. But anyways, it's what it is. It's what it is. What it is. But it would be nice if I was as popular as Lexi is, though. There's my ego. My ego is speaking, and how much I would like to be as popular as Lexi is. But I'm not. I'm not in any way. I'm not in any way envious or jealous. I have those emotions. I do not have when I look at that. So I just letting you know. I've had felt those things before doing YouTube, but I had to do have had to do a lot of work to not, and just to be joyful and happy for people, for that, rather than feel those negative emotions and on that respect. And so, yeah. Well, no, you don't want to, Abby, when you're, being a kid is really hard. It's really hard being a kid. And it's really hard being in your 20s as well. I would say that, because when you're a kid, it's like the first time you get encountering, when you're with the peers and all of that stuff, and people are brutal and so forth. But when you roll over into and you start becoming an adult, that's even more brutal. But you've already gained a foothold for just how the brutality of life. Yeah, yeah. Anyways, I just like that's just things I'd noticed. I noticed how in my 20s how I was depressed almost my entire decade of my 20s. I almost didn't survive. I have talked about that a few times. I don't know if I've talked about it on this channel, but how I almost didn't survive my 20s. But I did. I survived. And I survived. What are we going to do here? So this needs to dry. This is kind of wet. I know what we're going to do. I know. Oh, baby Saja. I recommend. I remember you, I think. We are going to move this over to the side for a bit and just let it dry a bit. I'm going to pop this thing out and run some other brushes. Got a liner brush. Yeah, we'll use a liner brush. We'll just use the same paints, it's fine. And come in and do just a little bit of detail work on these trees, a little bit here, just a little bit. The golden products, you can only run so many layers of paint on them before you got to take a break and let them dry, but you got to paint in layers, otherwise you're kind of, in a sense, that you're wasting your time when you spend all that effort to make what you hope is going to turn out to be a good painting, that you kind of want to take your time. You can only rush it so much. That's what I'm trying to say. You really only rush things so much when you're painting with the golden products because of they dry at a little slower pace. They have more pigments in them, and 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 so when you if you so you can come up with a more quality piece of work when you're done with them. And you it's not to say you with the student grade paints and things like that that you can't do the same. That's not I'm not saying that at all. The student grade paints tend to dry faster. So we're going to just come and work on some of these branches. Okay. All right. Well, thank you. There we go. Working on the branches and so forth. Not as much pounding and so forth, but that's okay. All right. Well, anyways, hope everybody had a blessed Sunday today. Okay. So this part of painting is where things get kind of it's the get into that more that painstaking where when you're looking on it might be just a little bit more boring because it goes so slow. Yeah. All right. I guess my mods are really working overtime today. Thank you. And Mama Sushi was doing a lot last night at when I had Mr. Stone on. I really enjoyed that interview last night. I can't wait to talk to him again. Because I was like started watching Heartland again. I like that series of Heartland about the horse whisperer. I never actually met a person who was a whisperer of of animals and horses. But I met my mom talks to the dog. I mean, can hear the dog. She can hear a bit. And my sister is also very sensitive to the voices of dogs. What's going on with Mama Sushi? Uh oh. Okay. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. I know that I don't really know much about that, but I do have seen a lot of people go through and have bad, rough times and everything. But we're for you. I'll put you on my prayer list for my because I'm gonna start trying to do Sunday prayer on Tools of Fortune. To get these more full like colors. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add another color to my palette, so I just don't necessarily need to. This is a Hooker's Green. Hooker's Green. Yeah, yeah. So like, I'm gonna be trying. You know, where I used to have my after church chat on this program, I'm just gonna transfer that over to Tools of Fortune. You know, because I noticed that like, you know, I do sometimes tune into Linda G, and Linda G does prayers for her members, and I thought, well, you know, why not? I mean, that's kind of what, and so doing prayers and stuff like that, I think I can, I will. I started doing that today. I'm gonna put in some green so we have like some leaves and stuff. Green branches a bit. Got some fall colors and some different colors. Hmm. Yeah, it's just, this is, I like doing this. If I was listening to music right now, it's, oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry, Anna. And some of that green on, later it on top of there. Mm-hmm. Feels silent over here. Sorry, I'm so quiet. So you just peacefully eating your food. Oh, you're an RN. RN? So you're a red flag at the bank now since March? Oh, yeah. My sister got like identity scammed. You know, it's just, yeah. I don't know. It's just, that's just. I guess, you know, that's where if you can damn do biometrics. But then again, you know, then you got these companies that are tracking you when you do biometrics and stuff like that. I don't know, but it'd be nice if we lived in a world where people weren't scammers or stuff like that. There we go. Use some of this glazing fluid here to thin things down. Good night, baby Saja. Oh, look, it's 12:21 right now. 12 people watching, 21 likes. And it was up to like 50 people on at one time. Yeah. All right, well, let's just thin this stuff down a little bit more. It took me years to figure out how to draw a straight line, or paint a straight line. I listened to the tutorials and it said, oh, just use more water. Use more water. I'd be buying all kinds of brushes with thinner things, and it was only like a year or so ago that I started using these ones in order, and I was able to get those lines that I was looking for. And yeah, I think we're gonna leave it that way, like this. I'm gonna run off another branch coming over here. Branch coming up here like this, and I'll just wrap that over the edge. One of my friends is having a tumor removed on Friday. Of course, his firing from the casino was how I got that bartending job. I got fired from the. I was as a barback. I was trying hard to get that job, but when he got fired, then at that time I was the number one uh, fill-in barback and was bartending at that time 3 times a week. But then when he got fired, I was bartending 5 days a week, almost to the point where I almost forgot how to barback. But who can forget how to like cut limes? I was working there on a Friday night. Thursday night is a barback. You'd be cutting like 3 boxes of limes. Yeah, roughly. Yeah, because they was you would sell a lot of Coronas, and you'd put a lot of limes and lemons into cocktails and so forth. And yeah, so I'm gonna put some of this Zilron Crimson in here. I like how that Zilron Crimson. I'm gonna just come and put it into this, into here. Maybe I should have put some more of it in a little bit later. It's all right. I, maybe we'll just kind of pull it in a little bit more on this side down here. And we mix some more of that paint in there, and it kind of makes more organic looking colors when you mix that Zilron Crimson with that yellow ochre. But nevertheless, yeah, yeah, my friend, he's has a tumor, and hopefully it's nothing too serious. in many respects, he had reminded me of my father and how he would rant. My father was good at ranting. He was a rant. He would talk to you, talking when you start ranting about certain things, mostly politics. Well, thank you. With a porcupine. Hello, Randy. Welcome. Well, I don't think I can be the next Bob Ross. I just was my I just have a voice that I have a radio voice, and um at least that's what was I was told a long time ago, and so I believe it. I believe it. So that's like the one of the bigger talents that I have is a voice. You know, when I was like younger, I wanted to be a professional actor, but yeah, I did want to be a professional actor, and I wanted to be a rock star too. But then, yeah, I don't know. But isn't that what our society teaches? Is they teach people that they want to be the stars, rock stars, and actors and actresses, and what now it's like social media influencers or whatever that is. And that's kind of the new rock star kind of energy. But I was like, yeah, that was the thing is when when my friend got fired off that job, that's when they promoted me up to be a bartender because and they weren't gonna do it. Well, maybe they would, but I worked my ass off in that job. I worked harder than everyone else. I wanted that promotion, and I I practically ran, and you know that casino was a pretty big casino, and you had other barbacks. They struggled, and then when I moved into bartending, they almost hated me because they had to like work so much harder. So you wanted to be a journalist? Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, there's all these things that we wanted to do, and you know, and I still to want to be able to make a living as an artist. I have a lot of hope. But when I say artist, I'm talking about the the whole thing that I'm doing. Um, I don't know if it's possible to do it through YouTube. Would need to get a whole lot more than 1,000 subs. I think what they say is you it's somewhere around that 50,000 sub mark is where you can get enough revenue from ad shares and through memberships and through other things that you can quit your day job. I think that's what they say. That's what they say. But we's working on it here. We're just working on the branches and so forth, and see how much I can get done. 'Cause I can't sit for too long. I'm starting to get fat, and so I need to. And I gotta be careful and take better care of myself. I think that's what the tarot told me today too. It said I needed to um, get some better grounding in nature, and listen to my intuition more. Do that. That paint's not even quite dry yet, so we're gonna do another. No, let's not do that. Let's come back over here, get some of this green. I'm gonna put some of this green in here. Add a little water to it. You can do either way, glazing fluid or water. Now if I come up, now that's just a lot of water in it, but we're just gonna put this in here and it'll be kind of more like leaves. So little dots like this, kind of like leaves. Put the branches in, and then you put the little dots in to get those leaves. I think this yellow is good. I think I can go in and get some of this yellow. And yeah, let's move a little faster here. A journalist, huh? Well, that woman who broke my heart in my 20s, she was a journalist. And her husband was a journalist too. Or they were studying journalism. She ended up as a public school teacher, and I don't know what he does. It's been a while since I've lurked into their Facebook accounts to know what they're doing. And also, I had some mutual friends, of course, too, we could go find out. But Maria, welcome. Welcome, Maria. I'm just kind of working over here. Not all the branches have life on them. Some of them, maybe they've dropped their leaves already or something like that. Maybe we'll take some of these and take some of this Zilron Crimson and kind of spackle that in there too. Red leaves. It looks like there's what someone said fall colors here. And that's what I was talking about. I'm jumping all over the place in my conversation here, in my stream of consciousness narration, and talking about what it was like to cut like 3 boxes of limes by yourself. Gallons of limes, and in that casino that went through, what did we do? In vodka, we went through like on any given weekend, like 40 bottles of vodka on the weekends. Maria. Well, yeah, welcome. Yeah, that's about right. It was like on a concert nights or something like that because there's well every Saturday was a concert night. 40 bottles of vodka would pour on Friday and Saturday nights. 40 bottles of vodka, just well vodka. And then you'd go through like what 10 barrel IPA, just at like North Bar alone. We're just talking about North Bar, right? Maybe Mama Sushi may have been in that casino before. I don't need to mention the name, but she'd probably been in that casino. In North Bar, I like working North Bar because you make a lot of money, and as a day shift bartender, I made on the course of a year, on the average, I made $1,000 a week in cash tips. I mean, do that's just as a day shift. That was just as a day shift bartender. I wasn't. They didn't put me in a swing shift because I couldn't multitask fast enough to do the swing shift bartending job. But yeah, how's that look? Let me just kind of pull this up here like that, and we got just a start on that. Ninja 7, welcome. I'm going to put that aside, and I'm going to pick up the other one, and we're going to go back in and work on blocking those colors in. I need to put this someplace where I don't get any dust on it. Okay, stay. Yeah, Mama Shoes, maybe you should stop messing around with buy. I don't know. I know buying YouTube equipment's kind of rough. I'm gonna step up for just a second, and I'm gonna show. I think I've showed this off before. I think I can show this off without. Um, you have a box to put over. How my setup is. I haven't really talked about my setup too much, but this here is your swords do all the way. So this Mama Sushi is when I use instead, and I'm not using a tripod. So here is one of my camera lights here. I have another camera light. I'm going to try to do this without showing off my clutter. And this is, whoop, whoop, whoop. This is a boom microphone stand. I think I paid like $40 for it like 10 years ago. And it's pretty durable. Works way better than like, see, I have most of my painting supplies right down there on the floor. Well, my next live will be tomorrow. I think tomorrow's gonna rain, so I'm gonna try to do my paint live stream painting earlier, and I don't know. I'll probably do it inside here. Welcome. And so this Mama Sushi is a boom microphone stand. You can buy these at Guitar Center for the or you can get one used pretty quick. And so you're looking at it, and you can do this setup here. So you're horizontal over a tabletop, and this here's a camera mount. This little coupling cost about $10, and there's a ball bearing joint in there, and then you have your camera mount and everything on here. And so if I come over here and I look at this is another little tripod I have here that has that other camera light. So I have two camera lights, but I also have the overhead light on as well, because you have to have a lot of light in order to do this. And so, and this here, I think this thing is a little. I think I paid like 10 to 20 bucks just for this clamp here. And it has a cold shoe on it. So sorry, I need to, I have a lot of clutter here and I'm trying to not show off my clutter. But that's a cold shoe. And you put, so you can slide that light in. And of course I always keep my Maria Guadalupe here because I have my charms and everything. And yeah. And so this is the best setup that I found for doing this horizontal mount. And then also that you can raise and lower this thing up here. And this is my bedroom. Yeah, I do have my charms. I have my icons, and I have actually larger icons. I have, let me see. I have bigger icons too of, like this one here. This is, this one is, and I have a even bigger one of these too, but it's not as, it's just a little bit different design. But these are, because I like this art, and and so I've done, put that away. But yeah, I actually never have shown that off, that I have those, that I have these larger icons. And I would like to, if I could, get like all of like the Stations of the Cross. I mean, but I like these little ones too. These are nice to have around. I like them. And so yeah. So it's got a lot of stuff on here. I keep my paint brushes on here all the time, and the paint's still pretty wet. I'm gonna go over this, and because it's just the nature of how these golden products are. They're really slow drying. Come, thank you, Anna. And then I got to do. I have to clean and declutter my space. I've been meaning to do it for a couple of years. This is the summer I got to do it. And and yeah. So I'm gonna come back in over here. We'll do the sky. I think I'm gonna change to a round brush and do that here, and make sure I'm gonna clean that other stuff out here, because I don't want to get the brown in there. I don't want to take the risk of getting brown in my sky here. And so these products, I like these products too. I wish I was getting like sponsorship and shit like that, or but this one has this like a color. It has this, and you can put this thing over this, and preserve your colors. And so some of these paints I put in here like 2 months ago, and it gets a nice airtight seal, and this makes a really so if you are a painter and you're not painting all the time, this is a really a good tool to have with you. So you've been trying to do so much. Well, anyways, that's and I got that, and I got a lot of stuff here, and then welcome, Anon. Yeah, decluttering. Yeah, you got a lot of decluttering too, and so I did get a new tarot deck. I haven't edited the video. I think I'm going to reshoot the video, but this is, people talked about that biblical tarot. Today was the 16th Sunday in Ordinary Time, and it was about the Mary Martha story. And so these were the cards I pulled just for today, and I'll probably just leave them out for all week. And but that's kind of that. And then there was a sense of a Wheel of Fortune, because it's that of needing to turn over into a new cycle. But I also, while I'm here, before, is that we, we need to be grateful for what we got, because you matter. Because this is what is very important, to know that you matter, and you matter. Because all of you guys matter here. All right. Anyways, I need a drink of water. So yeah, that whole setup with that boom microphone stand, Mama Sushi, when you're doing that tabletop stuff, providing you don't put a big heavy camera on that thing, you can get those horizontal mounts, and that's because tripods, they're in the way, and this thing is not in my way at all, because it's off to the side. And so yeah, the only thing that's in the way is that when I hook this up into the Ethernet, and I got that Ethernet cord coming out, or you're running microphone cords and stuff like that, that does make it so that it's like stuff that's in your way. And so you just want to, when you're live streaming, you want to make sure that you have the maximum amount of stuff that's not in your way. So that's really because when you have stuff in your way, it makes live streaming a real pain in the arse. That's what I can tell you that. So for this layer, it'll be the last, unless I do another drying session. Oh, look how this is turning out here. It is like there could be a mountaintop here, and a tall mountain, and clouds. This is I think this is going to turn out to be really a nice painting. I do have to do a little bit more work to mask the underpainting just a little bit, but yeah. Anyways, my and as like Lexi had talked about, when she's been on my channel multiple times, about watching a mass. I mean, my mom is a Lutheran, and so there's like Zoom church. I grew up in a Lutheran church, but I actually listened to one of those live masses today, and gosh, I almost like started crying, because it was like I'd forgotten about it, how beautiful the liturgy is. The dogma is not so beautiful. I don't necessarily agree with the dogma, but I mean, to go to a mass where there's a pipe organ, the nearest one where they play a pipe organ, like on a Saturday evening mass, is in Corvallis. Corvallis is 50 miles. It's a 50-mile drive to Corvallis. Or if I wanted Latin, that's like St. Mary's in Portland. I mean, that'd take me 2 hours to get there. So it's like everything's so far away. Everything's just so far away. I'm going to just use up all that gel medium there. It is chill. It's cold outside. It's supposed to rain tonight too. Well, down here it's supposed to rain. There's like I actually packed my outdoor studio up and put it back in the house. let's go in with a little bit more of this blue. That's way too much blue. Just a little bit. And this is a magnesium hue. It is a transparent color. I'm dealing all in transparent colors. Oh, Denise Francis, welcome. Welcome. So if we look at that, well, this one's a semi-transparent. You can still see the line through it. So, and that's where you get the magic with these paints, is that you use those semi-transparent colors, and you can get those skies that go on forever and ever and ever. At least that's what I have found in my travels so far. I'm only been painting about a decade, and so to try to make the landscapes is my specialty, and that's why I paint landscapes. And I tried, so I might try this winter coming up to do some portraits again, but I'm just not very good at drawing, and so anyway, that's why it's what it is. But with some more watercolor practice, I can probably I think I'll add just a little bit of red to that. Primary red or fluorescent red? What do you think it should be? Primary magenta or fluorescent red? Let's do primary magenta. I just want a little tiny drop. The tiniest that drops. That's not the tiniest drop. That's a giant drop. I wanted less than that. Way less. All right. Just wanted a little tiny drop. Tiny drop, not that much. Okay, we're going to put that up here. It's going to maybe create some shadowy like effects. And come back over it with some white. Not today, because I have to let this dry. Okay. But we'll do the sides anyways. You mean the one from the Japanese? Was that 10 years ago? I thought the one from Japan, from that Japan earthquake, was a lot longer ago than that. I was still living in Seattle when the Fukushima reactor and all of that got when Japan had that 9.0 earthquake. I hope that yeah, it's like 15 years ago. Yeah, I do remember. And then I also remember there was a landslide that was, I think it was up in someplace, because one of my coworkers lost family in that landslide that occurred. I think it was up in Alaska. He was like a First Nation person. That was a pretty tragic event. So, anyways, this is coming along, but it is, I kind of reached the almost the end of what I can do on this today. I don't have the live scheduled for tomorrow, but I will have them. I'm going to do them. I'm going to try to do another early in the day Tools of Fortune live stream. They have been, I haven't been very, algorithmically it hasn't really liked me going out that early in the day. We're going to use this paint. I'm going to use the paint up on that other one here. Which one is this? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right, let's go back in over here. I think we'll just do what? What will I do? Let's just take this green and we'll mix it in here with this color. It'll make it more of a brown color. There. I don't want to go... Make it, now it's kind of a gray tone, but we'll just see. We'll see. Let's just thin it down. And we'll just build on top of it. It'll be fine. Let me put this in here. Gray tones and all. Grayish green. It's just blocking the color in. You knew what was going to be going on in your life, yeah. Yeah. I still work my ass off, actually. It sometimes doesn't seem that way. It doesn't seem like that way to outsiders or family people. They don't see everything that I do, so some people in my family, in-laws, and think I'm a lazy ass SOB. Yeah. Well, we're coming into that 90-minute mark. Let's put this in here. It doesn't look like much now, but it will. It will look like something in a couple days. I don't want to go too dark up front, simply because the foreground is going to compete. I don't want the foreground to have to compete that much with the background. We'll add this in here. And this is pretty muddy right now, and so... And tomorrow is going to take all day to dry. Because at this stage, the more layers of paint you put on them in these golden products, the longer it takes to dry. That's one thing I have learned when I started doing underpaintings, is how long this stuff takes to dry. And so this painting here may not be ready. Hopefully it'll be ready tomorrow, that way I can work on it again tomorrow. But it may not be ready till Tuesday. That's the thing of it. And that's the thing of it. It may not be ready till Tuesday. And we'll just use up this yellow here. I'm going to use this yellow up. I can put some more in. So then the decision we're going to have to make is this going to be a fall or spring, or I think it's going to be like midsummer type colors, like what we got going on now. I think that's what it's going to be. This is mud here, so I cannot move anymore. I can't push any more paint on it. We can pull out that other painting. Well, I wanted to say how much I appreciate everybody who has come in today and been in the chat and doing all of that kind of stuff. I appreciate my mods for being, especially Mama Sushi, and because we're practically neighbors, and Lexi and Tapestry of the Unseen, and I think this is going to, we'll just see how this dries in here. Yeah, midsummer, that's right, and we are in midsummer. And did you notice also, Mama Sushi, that the Queen Anne's lace flower came, usually that flower doesn't usually bloom until like August, and then it bloomed like 2 weeks ago. It can't, I think it's like 2 weeks ahead of schedule or something like that. And I'm just gonna put this in here, like I'm just gonna lay it in here like this, and lay this color in like that. I want to use it up. It's been in there for a couple months, and I'll lay it in there pretty heavy, and then we'll see what happens tomorrow. Third eye, yeah. Yeah, I will. I'm gonna be. I mean, this is like summertime. You make these big pushes. That's what we're doing. We're making a big push. All right, this is all I'm going to do on these two pieces today. I think I cleaned out most of that paint there. I'm going to clean this up. Early winter. Yeah. Obadiah, welcome. I don't know. I'm hoping that we don't get an early winter because, I've been having trouble regulating my moods this year. I've been having trouble with that, and in many of these things, and with mother's age and the role reversal, how hard the role reversal has been and everything. I did say hello. I just had a hard time. I'm gonna turn the camera around, and I'm gonna turn the camera around. Just gonna hang out and chat for a bit, and we can do that. Ooh, I'm gonna move that. Move this. So this is what we've been. This was we also worked a little bit on this one here. Agent. I'm gonna put that one down here. And yeah. Therapy lamp helps. Let's see. There we go. So, anyways, that's what we got. Have that. I found some books. Carl Sandburg poetry. I did say hi to you. I can't pronounce your name. Ojeda. Hello, Ojeda. I didn't pronounce it right. I'm sorry. I don't know. I can't. I'm very challenged when it's sounding words out. That's kind of Sitala. Sitala? Sitala? Is that, I know it's not right. Sitloey. Okay. All right, Sitloey. Hello, Sitloey. Welcome. And Carl Sandburg is one of my favorite. I have a lot of favorite poets. Then we have Khalil Gibran. Sitloey. Okay. And then let's move that over there. And then I have what else do I have here? I got a lot of poetry. Allen Ginsberg. Well, Patricia, how about this is for you, Patricia. Patricia Barn. Here's for you. Maybe for Patricia. For you, Patricia. And here's a nice picture for you here. Nice little birdie here. We got I can do some readings from the Gnostic Gospels for you, Patricia Brown. But we have some poetry. Carl Sandburg is like an anti-war, let's just read this one. Number 4. The feet of the rats scribble on the door sills. The hieroglyphs of the rat footprints chatter. The pedigrees of the rats and babble of the blood and garble of the breed of the grandfathers and the great-grandfathers of the rats. And the wind shifts, and the dust on the doorsill shifts, and even the writings of the rats' footprints tells us nothing at all about the greatest city, the greatest nation, where the strong men listened and the women warbled, nothing like us ever. How do you pronounce your name? I do remember you, because I know that because I struggled to pronounce your name, and I probably went to your last name Argawal. Argawal. And yeah, so uh, uh, Carl Sandburg, I like his poetry because he's a free verse poet, kind of like into that realm of like Walt Whitman. But I like one of my favorite dead poets is Allen Ginsberg is one of my favorite. Uh, 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 yeah, I won't read Howl for you, but he has some good poems in here. There's one that I flagged the other day that I thought was a nice poem. Was it in this one? Yeah, this one. It's not that long either, because Ginsberg writes. I've heard of it in immense of Oots. I've heard of that. Carol Quigley. I've heard that before. But why don't I read? I'm going to read this poem by Song by Allen Ginsberg. I bet it is. So this is a poem called Song. And so if you've ever run across Allen Ginsberg, they always go with like how or footnote to how, and they rarely ever go into his other poetry like America, Man's Search for Meaning in Life, and Victor. Okay, so you have I've heard about that one too. Viktor Frankl. Yeah, so let me read this poem for you. Because one of the things that some people know is that I have lots of experience. My first art was poetry. Well, it's not really, but that was one of the arts that I studied and practiced the most of was poetry, and I really like. Hello, Hazel. I really like spoken word poetry, and so I did. Oh, name was your name something else? Oh, so it's Hazel. Okay. Oh, I see. You changed your channel name to Hazel. Okay. I see that. So I'm going to read this poem. The weight of the world is love under the burden of solitude, under the burden of dissatisfaction. Oh, this is the first time? Oh, okay. Then there was someone else who had your channel name then. The weight of the world is love under burden of solitude, under burden of dissatisfaction. The weight we carry is love. The weight we carry is love. I have that right here. My channel name is this. It is a variety show. Beef Stick. This channel is a show. It is whatever content I want it to be. That's what this channel is about. So, okay, that's your third time. I remember because I remember your name. So you're number 10. I'm okay. All right. Well, if you're 10, you probably shouldn't be here, Hazel. But anyway, I'm gonna get on with this poem. Yes, art, poetry, philosophy, religious studies, talk. That's what it's all about. Welcome. I'm gonna read this poem because I'm gonna read this poem and before my other light burns out. All right. The weight of the world is love under the burden of solitude, under the burden of dissatisfaction. The weight we carry is love. Who can deny in dreams? It touches the body in thought, constructs a miracle in imagination, anguishes till born in human, looks out of the heart, burning with purity for the burden of life. is love. The burden of life is love. The burden of life is love. But we carry this weight wearily, and so we must rest. We must rest in the arms of love. In the arms of love, at last must rest in the arms of love. No rest without love, no sleep without dreams of love. Be mad or chill, obsessed with angels or machines. The final wish is love. Cannot be bitter, cannot deny, cannot withhold if deny, cannot withhold if deny. The weight is too heavy, must give. For no return as thought is given in solitude, in all the excellence of its excess, in all excellence of his excess, the warm bodies shine together, the warm bodies shine together in the darkness. The hand moves to the center of the flesh, the skin trembles in happiness, and the soul comes joyful to the eye. Yes, yes, that's what I wanted. I've always wanted. I've always wanted to return to the body where I was born. That was a poem called Song by Allen Ginsberg. Maybe I'll read one of my poems. I can do that. I can read one of my poems. Well, I don't have I never married. I never married. That was not. Um, I'm one of the. I'm one of the 10 or 12. I think it's 20% of the human population that never married or didn't have children. So it's rough. I think that's roughly the stats that a priest gave me, was that roughly 20% of the human population doesn't get married. And doesn't for whatever reasons, and probably like 10% doesn't have children. I don't have children that I know of. How if we put it that way? There may have been, but I don't know. I have my book of poems. I'm gonna read you one of my book of poems. Is that why I'm so intellectual? But I put that in there because there was one, because she was from Brazil, and she was from Brazil. Yeah, that I know of. Let's see. Let me find one that's. Yeah, this one works. Yeah. Well, I don't know you, Hazel, but Maya in the garden. The illusion in the garden. It's all in the mind, Life, living here, breathing. That woodpecker. That woodpecker beating on a drum, fancy dancing, calling out for a new spring mate over yonder, isn't real. This is all a dream. Soon the dreamer will wake. You and I am reading a poem that I wrote. You and I and all that we know will cease to be someday. Yeah. So, so Hazel, is a kid or a troll? Yeah, I don't know. It's probably good. I don't know. I'm not gonna. All right, this is a poem I wrote a long time ago. This titled Fall Birds. Fall birds speaking, chattering tongues assemble at the train yard, swirl around, billowing like pillars of smoke. After starting one formation, then changing their mind, they settle back down between rusty lines of boxcars. Over and over again, the flock danced, following one leader, then another, darting different directions, gathering momentum for autumn's journey. After the noon sun ascended above the fog, the yard remained revealed, silent cars spackled white. Take it like this, everyone's life story. Some are short, like, okay, yeah. Each person has their own way. Yep, that's right. That's true. Thank you. Very true. Let's find another poem. I like this one. It's not for children, though. And I don't want to read that one. It's too. Let's read this one instead. PC High. This is titled Independence Day. Independence Day. I like this one. I wrote. It's a cross-out poem, an edited cross-out poem. And I have this poem also as a video poem on this channel. It's under a playlist called Channel Favorites. You know what? What I will do, I think I can do that. I think I can multitask this thing. Okay. My brother and I were raised to be Republicans. Our mama, she was a Christian. She centered on gypsy dreams. Our mama wanted the ways of wildness, to wander and roam. She said that people in America get sick because they live their lives in ignorance. My brother and I were influenced by the Mormons. We heard men call young girls whores. We heard the preachers who said it was right. My brother and I used to sneak into each other's houses to talk our doubts and what we really believed. Maybe one more. One more poem. These poems are generally kind of pretty heavy. No, that's not appropriate. Nope, those are definitely not appropriate. Okay, let's read this one. So this is what it looks like. This is what you call a cross-out poem. And so this is a cross-out poem. And if they're really good at them, if you're really, really good, you can they flow very well. And so your aim of writing cross-out poetry is that the poem that comes out of whatever you crossed out of bears no resemblance to what it came from. And so William Burroughs was a master in this type of writing, crossouts, writing cutouts, doing collage poetry. William Burroughs, and so my name, my birth name is William, and my middle name is James, and there have been famous poets by the name of William James, and so my writer's name is William James. I went by that for a while. It flows. So this is a cross out poem, and as I showed you, this is what it looks like. And that's what it looks like. And how I got into painting was I was working on a manuscript that was all to be cross out poetry, and I was using metallic paints to cross things out. And I bought some silver paint, some copper paint, and I was using that. And I had pages and pages of photocopied pages out of books, and I was creating, using it to do crossouts, and then that's how these things was developed right out of my painting. Came right out of trying to make a poetry manuscript that was all cross out poetry, and it was thematically. So I'll just read this, and so this is conclusions. People get ugly when there's more to it. Raymond Carver reciting his eulogy, the tears I wept, his face bloodied. I recall my fear. Dancers well with joy, my face, this witness. I spent months helping. I never expected change. Cleansed, engaged, we'll do it again. I like that. I like to have those word rhythms. I like word rhythms. Is there one more that's appropriate? A lot of the poems in this book are not appropriate. This one's appropriate. It's called Deep Fried Tears. Deep fried tears. Deep fried tears. Garish orange tan lampshades illuminated a sign over a call-out window. Hunched over, people sat at tables eating greasy burgers and limp fries. A cacophony of slot machines ground out a new song everyone heard over and over and over again. A tired baritone hailed out the number 770. From behind a teal screen adorned in wavy red yarn, I looked at my receipt. It matched. Jackpot. Well, that's enough poetry. I lose people with poetry because poetry is so boring. Nobody likes poetry. Well, some people do. Maybe not you, though. Anyways, this is the 999 show. Looks like I went 999 show. We did pop-up live art today. We worked on, just as a reminder to show for those who came in, we worked on this painting, a little bit on this, and I started working on another painting, Ooh, the paint is too wet. I can't show you. But anyways, and this is a painting from a year ago. And this is another one of my other paintings. I do one of my other designs. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. I want to thank everybody being in the chat, coming in to say hi. Thank you, Mama Sushi, for moderating. Tapestry of the Unseen for moderating. Alexis Milner for moderating. For everyone who came and pushed the like button, the sub button. Everyone. Lucio, Hazel, PC, Serosity, at level 0, Argwall. There's a lot of chats in here. Everyone else came in for a few minutes, and I'll be back tomorrow night with something else. Next Saturday, I'll be having Lucky Stone 888 on again, and we will be talking about animal consciousness. It was a very fascinating conversation we had last night, and it'll be mostly painting all this week. And that's it. Look, the camera lights are shining off my glasses, but they ain't shining off my eyeballs. Maybe a little bit there. Anyways, thank you very much. And I'm 999 Show signing off. Bye-bye.